Welcome to Survivor Cambodia Second Chance.
Survivor Cambodia Second Chance is the second last season that I consider double S tier and a complete masterpiece. And if you've been following along with these videos, you would know that ranking is very hard to come by, as only 3 other seasons have been given that honor, with Survivor Cagayan, Fans vs Favorites, and Heroes vs Villains. This is one of Survivor's most ambitious seasons ever and the most competitive season of all time. Cambodia's Second Chance is the Survivor Mona Lisa. It was the season they created to show off just how strategic the game had turned into. This season draws huge inspiration from the idea of Second Chance itself in terms of the cast, but also challenges and the theme. But some ideas can be seen dating back all the way to the first season of the show, as every character has an emphasis of fixing what went wrong in their game the first time in order to fulfill their second chance experience. This is easily highlighted with Stephen Fishback and his obsession with the Golden Boy. But every single player on this cast understands the assignment of the second chance. Yet, even with returning to so many familiar ideas and drawing heavy inspiration from older concepts, this season still manages to find new inspiration and feel creative. Survivor Cambodia has an amazing location, the best strategic gameplay of all time, and an amazing winner, and so many other fun moments as well. And as the fans at home were involved in choosing the cast of characters for the season, it's also one of the most recognizable and beloved seasons in recent years. And so today, we'll be looking back at what makes this season so overwhelmingly compelling to watch and why it's one of the best seasons of all time, maybe even deserving of our top spot.
A relentless nightmare of what ifs that never ends.
Welcome back to Survivor Retrospective. This channel has been growing super fast recently, and I feel like some of you might have missed my earlier videos. I've been posting daily Survivor videos leading up to the premiere of Survivor Season 41. We started all the way back with Season 1 and how Kelly Wigglesworth ultimately lost the season to Richard Hatch. If you want to look back at every single season to fully understand how we got here, then I recommend checking out all my previous videos. I will have a link down in the description containing all of these Survivor Retrospective videos, and with all that said, let's get into it.
You know what, Jeff? I may be on the bottom, but I'm not ready to go home yet.
Oh my God.
No way.
Survivor Cambodia Second Chance dropped September 23rd of 2015, and with it, Survivor would never be the same again. This is both in terms of fan reception and innovation of gameplay, and we'll touch on both of those things a little later in the video. We are almost finished the Renaissance era of Survivor, and moving into the modern era is the Survivor we most recognize, as the modern era runs from Season 33 all the way until Season 40 with Winners at War. However, the season we are talking about today lives in a very unique place regarding when it was first released. See, this season of Survivor is the 31st overall season. However, the following season with Survivor Koh Rong was actually filmed before this. The producers ultimately decided to air these seasons out of order because of the fan vote that took place.
39 days, 20 people, 1 survivor.
The Survivor fan vote that took place this season is pure genius as a marketing tool, as it gets the fans of the show way more engaged and excited for a season as they were part of the decision-making process. But I think the fan vote this season goes way deeper than just being a quick marketing ploy, as it was such a monumental moment for this community. It really needs to be mentioned every time Survivor does a celebration type season, as they just have a different vibe to them that you can literally feel the energy from the players and the community. It was truly a once in a lifetime experience where you really need to be there to get the full experience of what the season had to offer. Whether it be the anticipation with Jeff announcing the results live, going online to vote, listening, reading, and watching all of the campaigning that took place as these players were fighting each and every day to be chosen for the season. And a little fun fact that some people might be unaware of is they originally had in the fine print that the producers could manipulate the voting in a small margin in order to ensure someone like Shane Powers was voted onto the season. Well, that didn't end up working out, as the Survivor fans are persistent and look at every single small detail. So as soon as the fine print was known to the public, the Survivor fans were outraged, and eventually the producers had to remove the fine print. And if we play a hypothetical what if for a quick second and pretend this is the darkest timeline and the season does end up sucking, I am talking Survivor Thailand level of sucking, well, I actually think the community would still view the season as at least average because of how game changing and amazing the fans voting the players onto the season felt.
These are your choices. You've been voting. Tens of millions of votes cast.
Much like the Mona Lisa itself, The excellence of this season doesn't just stop right there with very surface level ideas, as there is so much that makes this season a true thing of beauty. So just like the Mona Lisa, I believe what makes Survivor Cambodia so incredibly special is the subtle aspects of it. You must be asking yourself, what is this guy even talking about anymore? Please give me a chance to explain myself, as I think it makes a lot of sense. The attention to detail that is given to this season is really remarkable, as everything has a purpose and by result is logical. For a season of Survivor to be good, I don't think it needs to have any sort of deeper meaning to it or subtleties like this season has. But we are not just talking about a good season of Survivor here, as we are talking about one of the best seasons of all time. The separating factor that differentiates this season from being good to great is all the various levels of the second chance theme that is throughout the entire season. And I bet you are now thinking to yourself that I am crazy for thinking the theme of second chance is subtle. And yeah, I think the overarching theme of the season works better here than most of the other seasons that would come afterwards, as all of those feel completely forced. Although the producers use every chance they get to discuss how an event is relevant to someone's second chance experience, it at least feels natural and organic here and not forced. And I actually want to save this to discuss for my video covering Winners at War, but I think the theme of second chance is why this season works so well, and why, well, Winners at War just doesn't work out so well. This season is all of these players' once in a lifetime chance to play Survivor for a second time, and they want it so bad. And moments throughout Winners at War feels awkward and doesn't really translate well to compelling television for me, as the players don't really want it as much, simply from already winning the game. We're getting a little off track here, as that's going to be a topic for a completely different video, but the biggest reason this season works so well for me is the story that is able to be told with the second chance theme.
This is for Val. This is for Jordan. This is for Cameron. This is for my son that's not even here yet.
Although the theme of second chance and bringing things back that worked so well the first time is prevalent throughout the entire season, the producers also do an amazing job of playing with the players' expectations and always keeping them on their toes. A lot of these things come right out of the gate during the pre-merge of the season, and although Survivor would try to replicate some of these twists again, they work the best in a returning player season, as we are already familiar with the characters and don't need to take the time to get to know them, and so all that time can be used on other game-changing ideas. For the first time in Survivor history, we would see hidden immunity idols during challenges, the crazy impromptu first tribal council, the tribe expansion on day 7 followed by the tribe swap on day 14, and lastly, the vote steal advantage. And even though all of this is now common and almost seen too much in modern Survivor, it was truly so interesting and crazy to see here for the first time.
Hi, I'm Kelly Wentworth, and I just idled Andrew Savage out of Survivor Second Chance.
The pre-merge this season is like the calm before the storm, which would be an amazing post-merge. The pre-merge is nowhere near being considered bad Survivor, but with all the swaps and pre-existing relationships that were on this season, everyone knew this was going to be a merge to remember, and the entire thing can be summed up in 2 words: voting blocks. The game was being played at a speed that had never been seen before. Alliances were not a thing due to all the relationships that had been formed in combination with everyone playing their heart out and wanting to win. Because guess what? This was the 31st season of Survivor, and if you were on the bottom of an alliance, just move over to another voting block and you're good to go. We are given the amazing Witches Coven alliance, Keith Nail finding a way to float through the entire game, Andrew Savage at least makes the merge, Stephen Fishback's emotionally tough to watch obsession with getting the Golden Boy voted out, the rise to popularity of Wentworth, the downfall of Joe, the brutal rock draw that takes place with Kimmy, and most importantly, the brilliant meat shield strategy by Jeremy Collins.
Yeah, Jess. My decision comes down to who can I trust more going forward. That's what Fishback.
I remember Jeremy having an amazing winning game here, but after rewatching San Juan del Sur and this season so close together, I completely forgot how much I love Jeremy. This guy is super charismatic, so fun to watch, and to make it even better, he's also an amazing Survivor player, and that means he is such a satisfying winner of the season. Jeremy's entire problem the first time he played was that he was seen as the biggest threat, and that's why he was voted out. So much like the theme of Second Chance itself, Jeremy adapted for his second appearance with the now famous meat shield strategy, keeping the big threats around, having an amazing social game, and followed by a stellar final tribal council results in Jeremy sweeping the jury with a 10-0-0 vote. Jeremy was so close to getting the perfect game here, as even though he does get votes technically counted against them, they don't really count because he used a hidden immunity idol to negate them.
The winner of Survivor Second Chance, Jeremy.
I don't have any negatives for this season because there are no negatives with this season, but because I do understand nothing is perfect, I'm gonna try and nitpick a little bit and try to find something to complain about. And the only thing I can possibly think of is maybe there was too much strategy this season. That's okay. We have players like Keith Nail and Wu to help make things not as insanely strategic. This is my favorite Survivor season ever, and it's because of the amazing stories that are told and the outstanding amount of effort that the players go through, from campaigning for the fans' vote to play hard to make sure they don't let the fans down. This is the Survivor Mona Lisa, simply because it is a work of art. My final rating for Survivor Cambodia Second Chance is a 9.9 out of 10, double S tier, and my favorite season of all time.